The first time in 2021 a pitcher has been ejected for sticky substances. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about that in just a moment, but I wanted to go ahead and start the video off by saying 13 years ago today, way back in 2008, the Dodgers beat the Angels without getting a single base hit. Just how can you not love baseball? What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about, so if this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Also, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to the All-Star game or any baseball games, even if they're minor league games. Save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. Now, usually to begin the videos, I always like to show the walk-off games, but yesterday, the Pirates versus the Cardinals. Rookie KeBryan did something at third base that I have to talk about right now. So let's talk about the little details before that happened. As the Pirates, they beat the Cardinals 7-2. All-Star snub. You guys really liked yesterday's All-Star reaction video. Bryan Reynolds, he hits an RBI single, and the Pirates end up with 3 runs for rookie Max Kranick. He was sensational yesterday. KeBryan, speaking of sensational, look at this play over at third base. Manny Machado, Nolan Arenado, and Matt Chapman are probably the only other humans in the last 10 years that could have made this play over at third base. So if we're talking about best defensive third basemen in baseball, you have to start putting KeBryan in that conversation. He is so good over there at the hot corner. You have Gregory Polanco and Ben Gamble hitting home runs for Max Kranick as he goes 5 perfect innings in his debut. He gets the W. Unfortunately, though, a 1 hour and 30-minute rain delay ruins his chance of throwing a perfect game or no-hitter as the Pirates take him out after the 5th, but he is the first player in the history of baseball to secure a W in his first ever start and also not allow a base runner. All right, let's talk about the walk-off from yesterday. We have the Detroit Tigers versus the Houston Astros. Jake Odorizzi was really good yesterday for the Astros, and same with Tarik Skubal of the Tigers. He only allows 1 earned run in 7 innings. That was on a sacrifice fly to Carlos Correa. And then Akil Baddoo, of all people, he has 3 base hits against lefties. He comes in huge. His 4th base hit against a lefty is a massive RBI single. And then in the bottom of the 10th, he uses his top 3% sprint speed to score on a squeeze from Robbie Grossman. The Tigers take a 5-2 series win over the Astros because they don't play again for the rest of the year. So the Tigers beating the Astros 5-2 in a season series. Casey Mize and Tarik Skubal were amazing, and Matt Manning is going to be good going forward. The Tigers, maybe they're not going to be a playoff team in 2022, but once they call up Riley Green, Dylan Dingler, and Spencer Torkelson, I mean, come 2023, they could very well be a playoff team and the best team in that division if the White Sox don't keep signing guys. I mean, I love the White Sox. Their roster is insane. They just, unfortunately, are the American League version of the Mets. They're just always injured, and I hope that changes. 2 little updates for you guys. So we know that Shohei Ohtani is going to be in the Home Run Derby. I'm going to see that live. I cannot wait. 2 more people have confirmed. We have Trey Mancini. He is coming back from cancer. I am so excited for his journey and also for him to try and win the Derby. And then Trevor Story, he is going to be hitting some bombs in his hometown. Let's go ahead and talk about the Orioles and the Rockies game just because we talked about some of their players. Jays, unfortunately, they beat up the Orioles. Even though Ryan Mountcastle is having a huge month of June, he has a .341 batting average with 8 home runs and 21 RBIs. It's just that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is so much better. He has 2 RBIs on this double in the 3rd, so he is now number 1 in base hits, home runs, RBIs, and OPS plus along with just regular OPS. Ross Stripling only gives up 2 earned runs in 5 innings, and then Kevin Biggio drives in 2 on this double as the Jays move ahead of the Yankees for 3rd place in that division. Yankees fans, they're exploding right now. They're angry. And then, like I mentioned, the Rockies, they faced off against the Brewers yesterday, but they got shut out and beat 5-0 by Milwaukee. Keston Hiura, he's been making more and more contact lately ever since he got called up after being demoted. He hits a home run, and then Eric Lauer, as well as the Milwaukee bullpen, they don't allow a single run to score. Omar Narvaez hits home run number 7, and then Keston drives in 2 more RBIs later on in the game. The Brewers are now on a 5-game winning streak, and they're looking pretty good. So like I said, the Yankees fan base is not happy with their team, and everyone is calling for Aaron Boone to get fired, and let's see why, because they're facing the Red Sox, and they're 0-5 against Boston. Can they correct? No, they can't, because Kike Hernandez, on the very first pitch of the game, he goes yard, and then Devers hits home run number 19, so he has 63 RBIs on the season. You have JD Martinez going yard, and before the 4th inning even starts, Gerrit Cole had given up 6 earned runs. A lot of people are saying he is not the same guy, and definitely not worth $324 million without that sticky stuff. You have Erod going 6 innings, only allowing 2 earned runs with 8 strikeouts, and the Sox, they end up with 9 runs as they improved to 6-0. They're undefeated against the Yankees this year. The Yankees have lost 3 games in a row. They're almost 7 games back, and the Red Sox, they reclaim first place over the Rays, as we're going to talk about that right now. The Rays lost yesterday. The Angels beat the Rays, even though All-Star snub Brandon Lau goes yard. Shohei Ohtani, he was doing his thing yesterday. He was a single away from the cycle. This RBI double takes the lead, but then you have G-Man Choi saying, enough of that, I want to win this game. Just unfortunately, Ohtani, he has an RBI triple to tie it up. Then you have Phil Gosselin and Shohei Ohtani adding to the lead. With these 2 home runs, they take a 6-4 victory, and Ohtani is #1 in all of baseball in extra base hits, and he has a sub 2.6 ERA. I think he's pitching today or tomorrow. He has 25 home runs in 75 games. That is the fastest in Angels franchise history. What Shohei Ohtani is doing right now, we will tell our grandchildren about, because this will never happen ever again. The Mariners versus the White Sox, this was a doubleheader. Taylor Trammell starts off game number 1 with home run number 7, and then this is where the madness happened. You have Hector Santiago as the first pitcher to be ejected under the new 2021 sticky substance rules. He's ejected, and then he had this to say after the game.
I kind of joked around with him moving, like if I was going to run away, because I know I wasn't using anything besides rosin, you know, what's given to us, because going into this, once it came up, I was just like, I'm going to use rosin. That's what we got. I don't want this to be a big thing. I don't want this to happen to me. So, and he said he just felt some stuff sticky on the inside of the glove. So all I used was rosin. I mean, I used it on both sides, arm, sweat, trying to keep that sweat from dripping down to the hands. I mean, that's the only thing I use rosin. That's about it.
So he is saying that he is innocent and that he was simply using rosin. So now we have to come to the point with, what if that glove that was confiscated actually comes back that there was no sticky substance and that he was falsely ejected? I mean, baseball is about to be hit with yet another big blow. Jose Abreu unfortunately getting hit by a pitch in the knee, and he might be missing some time. I don't know if he's going to go on the IL as the x-ray was negative, but maybe he'll go on the 10-day just to be safe. So the Mariners and the White Sox, they trade jabs back and forth, but then you have Taylor Trammell hitting the game-winning home run, and then he catches his own bat flip as the Mariners win game number 1 3-2. But then the White Sox, they get angry, and your mean Mercedes, who we haven't really talked about at all in the last month, he drives in 2, which is great for him because he started off blistering hot and he's really cooled off. You have Zach Collins driving in an RBI on this double, and then Yermin and Collins, they rip it open yet again as Luis Gonzalez, not the Arizona Diamondbacks player, Chicago right fielder Luis Gonzalez hoses Kyle Seager, and then Hendricks, he has to come in and get the save after the Mariners score a bunch of runs and they try to make the comeback, but to no avail. The Rangers versus the Royals. The Royals are not playing good baseball lately. Adolis Garcia, this RBI triple turns into a 2-run opposite field home run from my friend Joey Gallo. He is now up to 16 or 17 home runs. I'm hoping to God that either him or Adolis end up in the home run derby. A Royals error at third base turns into a 4-1 lead, and then 36-year-old Ian Kennedy, he gets his 43rd career save, and he has 97 wins, so good for him. He couldn't be a starting pitcher anymore, and then he turned into a pretty good closer. All right, let's talk about the NL West division. We have the Giants, the Padres, and the Dodgers all playing yesterday. You have Matt Chapman versus the Giants. He is now on a 15-game hitting streak after driving in 2 RBIs on this single. This Garcia starting a 3-run 6th, and then they score 1 more in the 7th as the A's, they beat the Giants pretty easily yesterday as Cole Irvin was incredible. 8 scoreless innings with only 3 hits allowed on 8 strikeouts. The Oakland A's, they gain a game after the Astros lose against the Tigers yesterday, so they're only 2 games back in that division. So let me know in the comment section down below, do you think the A's are going to be able to come back, or are you on the side of me where the Astros, they're going to win the American League West? The Padres and the Diamondbacks played in a pretty close game yesterday as Tommy Pham, he's been incredibly hot as of late. He hits another home run, and then Jake Cronenworth drives in another RBI, and then Tatis, I hate to say this, but he commits yet another error as the Diamondbacks take advantage and score a few runs. Trent Grisham and Jake Cronenworth, those 2 guys are so underrated. They tied up, and then Tatis, he makes up for that error. He grabs the lead on an RBI double, and then Mark Melancon gets his 24th save of the season. He is on pace for possibly a 50 to 55 save season if he keeps it up. The Padres improved to 9-1 in their last 10 games, and they gain a game, as we just talked about, the Giants losing. They're 4.5 games back of first place and 1 game back of the Dodgers, who of course win yesterday because Zach McKinstry hits his first career grand slam. Cody Bellinger follows up a game in which which he had a walk-off home run with a 2-run shot, as Javier Baez did the only damage against LA yesterday. Kershaw was incredible. 8 innings of 1 earned run baseball on 1 walk and 13 strikeouts. Clayton Kershaw is now 16 wins away from 200 wins in his career, and he's currently sitting at 2,650 strikeouts. So in my opinion, he's probably going to end with 250 wins and way over 3,000 strikeouts. The Braves shut out the Cincinnati Reds yesterday after Ronald Acuna Jr. made a nice play over in right field, and then he smacked an RBI double, and I can just tell Freddie Freeman loves hitting behind Ronald Acuna Jr. because he's always on base, and if he's not hitting a home run, he's stealing bases and getting in scoring position with that speed. Acuna, he almost gets hit in the head by a wild pitch, but then he pays it back with this home run. He now has 21 home runs and 16 stolen bases. If he can keep stealing bases, he is going to have a 40-40 season, maybe along with Fernando Tatis Jr. Austin Riley hits homer number 13, and then Will Smith shuts it down. The Phillies versus the Mets, you have Odubel Herrera hitting a sacrifice fly for the first run of the game. Then you have Alec Bohm on this RBI groundout, making it 2-0. Nick Maton scores another one on this RBI bloop double, and then Zach Wheeler goes 7 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts. He leads everyone in strikeouts with 130, and over his last 177 combined innings pitched, he has a 2.49 ERA and a 2.71 FIP. Both of those are elite numbers. And then Archie Bradley picks up his first save as a member of the Phillies. The Nationals versus the Marlins, you have Josh Harrison driving an RBI, and then after a Jazz Chisholm triple and an Jesus Aguilar double, the ball game is knotted up at 1 apiece. But then you have Trey Turner and Josh Bell both hitting 2-run home runs as the Nationals escape with a 5-1 victory because Max Scherzer, that was all that he needed. 6 innings, 1 earned run on 7 strikeouts, and the Nationals are 4 games back of the Mets. They're 7-3 in their last 10. And the last but not least, the Twins destroyed Cleveland yesterday as Trevor Larnach starts off the game with an RBI single, and then you have Andrelton Simmons hitting a 2-run shot, as well as Josh Donaldson adding some insurance runs on this solo shot. I do want to mention that Josh Naylor did have to leave the game with a pretty significant leg injury, and I just want to say my prayers are up to him. I hope that he has a speedy recovery because he is one of my favorite players in baseball dating back to the postseason. I mean, he became Babe Ruth for a day against the Yankees. He's just a really fun player to watch. Just unfortunately, he got injured, and then Nelson Cruz, the 40-year-old phenom, has 17 home runs, 42 RBIs, and a 161 OPS plus. Again, he's 40. It doesn't make sense. All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy or learn something new, leave a like on the video and subscribe. Don't forget to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 off your entire order. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay safe.